Let's now go to Mike Leum, the group leader of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team. He was part of the group that conducted rescue efforts in Antakya in Hatay province. He joins us now from Los Angeles. Really good to have you with us, Mike. Now, you've just returned from your search and rescue operations on the ground in Türkiye. Describe to us what you found on the ground there and how your team conducted their work.
Well, we found massive devastation of a scale that we have never seen before. And working with our Turkish partners and international rescue teams, luckily we were able to have 3 live rescues, which was very gratifying, and we were just glad to be there and be part of it.
And how big was your team on the ground there? How many people were on the ground?
There were 7 of us that are on the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team.
Yes, and Mike, in terms of comparing other similar disasters that you've helped out with, how does this compare with your previous experiences?
Well, this was probably the largest scale and the largest amount of devastation I had personally participated in.
Mm. And we know now that the Turkish Disaster Management Agency, AFAD, has announced that most of their search and rescue operations are winding up in all but 2 provinces of those quake-affected areas. Explain to us, at what point do you make that call to end those search and rescue operations? Because we know that as late as yesterday, even, survivors were still being pulled out alive, and that's almost 2 weeks after those earthquakes struck. It really must be a hard call to make in terms of essentially declaring that there is no chance of finding any more people alive from under the rubble.
Well, in my opinion, AFAD did a great job of continuing rescue operations longer than most organizations would. And the fact that they are now shifting towards relief and support of survivors, I think, is important. But it is always a tough decision of when to discontinue rescue operations.
That's right. And in terms of, from what you were witnessing on the ground, as well as the massive loss of life and destruction, how would you say the organizations on the ground there responded to this rescue effort? Because we did see teams from across Turkey and even across the world converge on the southern Turkish provinces that were hit by the earthquakes. How was that being coordinated in your view, and how was that rescue operation being conducted by all those involved?
From our perspective, it was done very well, very organized. We were working side by side with international rescue teams from France, South Korea, Spain, and while there was not a common language, there was always a common purpose to rescue as many people as possible.
Yes, and now, of course, as the search and rescue operations wind down in most of those quake-hit provinces, the massive relief effort is now underway. This is something that could take months or even years, with given the scale of the destruction that we've seen. Do you imagine, from what you were witnessing on the ground there, that this is going to be a longer-term operation with really no end in sight?
Well, I'm sure that the reconstruction efforts will take years. The immediate concern is for the welfare of the survivors. And from the multiple tent cities that I saw AFAD set up, I think they're doing a very good job of responding to this disaster.
And what would your message be to those watching now, not only from around Turkey but across the globe? Because now much needed funds needed to be raised. The UN is going to announce some sort of a relief call. The European Union is going to do something similar. Are you hoping that people across the globe are going to dig deep, be it ordinary citizens or governments?
It's going to take a worldwide effort to help the people of Turkey. And my message to them is, I hope they understand that America stands with them in solidarity, and we support them, which is why we were there.
Okay, Mike Leum, thank you very much for your work on the ground there in southern Turkey and for joining us here on TRT World. We appreciate it.
Thank you.